All right, so let's move on to this video that I'd like to share with y'all, and y'all tell me what your thoughts. We're gonna wrap it up with this video. We may not watch the entire thing.
If he just gets 5%, nothing else, just breaks 5% overall in the country, which is nowhere near unrealistic. At his height, he was polling at 19%. So if he just breaks 5% across the country, officially he will have qualified for matching funds for a presidential election in 2028.
He has to create a political party. He has to create a political party in order to do that.
Gotta let me finish. Just doing that makes news, makes people think, oh my God, he could actually do something. Wow, that will motivate independents throughout the entire country. That will make lawsuits. That was the We the People Party is that party. There will be lawsuits saying that We the People Party is the party that deserves that. That will happen. That movement is better than anyone else has done anything since Ross Perot. So just 5%, which is very doable, and in fact, probable that he can break 5%. I mean, most people would agree with that. He breaks 5%, that happens. That's a win in itself. He breaks a hole that the rest of us can run through. That's number one.
Okay.
Second piece, what if he just wins one state? Just one. He wins, say, for example, Utah. Utah is 4-1, Republican and Democrat. 4-1. Democrats don't even bother running candidates half the time. They didn't run a senatorial candidate last time. An independent ran in Utah last time. They're so broken. Utah Republicans don't like Trump. That's why they have you-know-who, Mitt Romney, as their senator. Now, in a three-way race, all Bobby Kennedy has to do is get 36% of the vote, 35, 36% of the vote, and he wins. The last independent broke 40%. That was just recently in the senatorial race in 2022, broke 40%. He gets 36% in Utah. He wins Utah. What does that mean? He's got 5% across the country and a purple state on that map that shows red and blue and one purple splotch for the next 4 years. What does that do? That motivates every single independent across his Canada to go, I can win. I can raise money. Your mayor will become independent. Your city council will become independent. Your state senator will become independent. Independent parties will explode. It will break the system. Yet again, he breaks the system. Why do you think Democrats and Republicans care so much? Because they know what I know. They know that is real. They know that could actually happen and it will devastate them. Otherwise, they let them go. You know the odds of him getting 270 are astronomical. He's like 270 electoral. It's astronomical. Of course, we all know that. So leave him alone. Let him fail. They let Gary Johnson fail. They let Jill Stein fail. Why not let him fail? Because what I just said is real. And let me go to the next piece. Here's the actual path to victory. What if he wins just 4 states? Maybe 5. What if he wins?
Which states would he possibly win at this point?
I will give you the states. You thought I wasn't ready for this, Kim. I am so ready for this. I'm prepared.
What are the states?
Yo, I like this guy. So I rock. This is my first time seeing Larry Sharpe. I like this guy. And you could tell she has a type of energy that is dismissive. I'm glad he came prepared. Yo, always be prepared.
That he could possibly actually win. Okay.
Alaska, number 1.
Okay.
Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Hampshire. I just gave you 5.
You think that he's polling so high in those 5 states, he could actually beat Trump and Harris?
You only need 35, 36%, and he can raise enough money to put into those 3 or 4 states to do it. Yes. And here's another reason why. A lot of these states, Democrats, Republicans aren't prepared to spend any money in them. Why would they? They know it's a done deal. Like Republicans going to spend money in Alaska. Republicans going to spend money in Utah. They're not ready for that. He drops cash in those states, they have to scramble. They're not ready for that. If he wins those 4 or 5 states, guess what could happen? And this is really could happen. Nobody gets 270 votes. Nobody does. Harris doesn't. Trump doesn't. Immediately what happens is it goes to a contingent election. 12th Amendment kicks in. It goes to Congress. The incoming Congress in January.
Yo, pay attention to this because I was not aware of this. Hold on. Let me go back. Pay attention to what he's saying. Because if RFK Jr. wins a certain amount of states, the race to 270 may be difficult for either candidate. And this is what happens if neither one of them reach 270.
Those 4 or 5 states, guess what could happen? And this is really could happen. Nobody gets 270 votes. Nobody does. Harris doesn't. Trump doesn't. Immediately what happens is it goes to a contingent election. 12th Amendment kicks in. It goes to Congress. The incoming Congress in January picks the president based upon each state gets only 1 vote. Wyoming is as powerful as California. Rhode Island is as powerful as Texas. 1 vote per state. Whoever gets 26 votes wins. DC cannot vote. Puerto Rico can't vote. Virgin Islands can't vote. It's 12th Amendment. And believe it or not, Thomas Jefferson was elected this way. And so was John Quincy Adams. This has already happened. Now, the odds are if anyone has 26 states, it'll be Trump. If someone has 26 states. If Trump doesn't have 26 states, now the horse trading begins. And when horse trading begins, who has a better shot? Only Bobby Kennedy will go, I'll take 3 Republicans to put into my cabinet, 3 Democrats put in my cabinet, 2 of that. They start horse trading for the next 2 months. January comes, he's the only candidate who can horse trade to become a compromise candidate. He actually wins the presidency if these things happen. I gave you 3 different pathways, 2 to impact, which I consider victory, because that breaks a hole for the rest of us, and then an actual pathway to victory. And here's the number one piece I just told you. No one's ever said this to you before, this style before, because this amount of impact and the actual path to victory hasn't been true since Lincoln, when he destroyed the Whigs. That's how important this is. And everyone else who tells you, well, we got to do this, we got to do that, they're all fooling themselves.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to change. Nothing changes unless he makes impact.
RFK Jr. is our current hope. I'm not going to say our last hope. Look what IROC just wrote. It would be a historical moment of evolution for America if we got that third party. We are a young country. It's time. And yo, for all the people that listen, for all the people that have been rocking out with the show for a while, and I was trying to go back, but I couldn't find it. Well, I didn't find it. I didn't do too much of a deep dive. Do y'all remember last year? I believe it was almost a year ago, when we were talking about the impact that Donald Trump could have to become the greatest and most impactful politician in American history, maybe world history. You remember what I said last year? What did I say? I said, if Trump decides to not run as a Republican, but to run as with RFK Jr. in a separate party, I said those two combining together, this is all on tape. Wait till I go back and actually find it. If those two come together, then they would have the capability. You have MAGA, you have Trump. Like, we understand the support that he gets. Then you have a RFK Jr. And there's enough moderates in the middle, people that are looking at both sides that are not really excited about voting for their party's candidate, people that are tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. Queez, remember, yo, shout out to my brother Queez. I said, if Trump wants to be the most significant politician in history, he would do something with RFK Jr., create a separate party, because a third party, that is everything for us right now. You just saw what IROC wrote. It will be in a historical moment of evolution for America if we get a third party. We need a third party. A third party is the system of checks and balances that does not allow this side to get so extreme or does not allow that side to get so extreme. And if they do, they know that they have to suffer from a common sense approach of something being closer to the middle that moderates will agree on. It is time. It is time. Trump, one of the 13K in the chat. Yo, Trump been in here listening, yo. I know, yo, I'm going to be totally honest. All right, so we're wrapping it up, but I got to be totally honest with you. Shout out to Ant. He said Trump, one of the 13K in the chat on the low. All right, so this is what I swear I thought about this morning. I woke up and like I did my little picture of the sunrise on the balcony, just chilling. And I was like, yo, you know what? If Trump win, RFK, you know, he around, Trump probably gonna reach out. He may ask me to, you know, he may ask us. He may say like, yo, the OG network, we need y'all to take on this position. And it don't gotta be a cabinet position, but just something significant to kind of, you know, get our feet in the door and really, you know, just set the tone, set the foundation with them for where this country will go moving forward. I really thought that. So I don't know. We're going to put the energy out there. Who knows? If Trump reaches out, then we're going to have to just do a group decision. Y'all know we do everything together. This is the OG network. So for people that have not tapped in, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us. This is what we do on Monday at 8 and Friday at 8. Wednesdays can either be in the evening or at 8 as well. But we do our wind down Wednesday where we just talk life. We talk politics. We just try to figure stuff out. That's what we do. We try to, we don't try, we figure things out. We intentionally walk towards figuring things out, bringing people together, establishing peace, and establishing just a common sense standard to life. That's what we're here for. establishing common sense standards to life. A lot of the things that RFK talks about, we're sitting here, and I do think, I don't even want to take away from it, saying like, oh my God, I'm sitting here saying it's a legendary speech. A lot of other people probably looking at it are like, what? Like he's not saying anything. Like, this doesn't sound like my pastor trying to inspire me. No, it's just direct conversation. And this is what we've been missing: direct, honest, and genuine conversations about things that matter most to us, like our health and well-being. So we're here, we're doing the work, we're having the conversations. Appreciate everybody tapping in. If you can, all right, so there's 15 people we're in right now, 15,000 people. Please, everybody, like. It's going to help the algorithm. As soon as we end the show, based on how many likes that we get, they're going to shoot it out to a bunch of people. If you really like, the conversation, not only like it, but, share with your friend group, share with your group, whatever, your friends, your enemies, whatever. The goal is for us all to come together. All right. The goal is for us all to come together. And I wanted to share something with y'all that I picked up on this weekend before we do our meditation and visualization. I'm realizing that it's becoming harder and harder, and maybe that there is no good and bad, that there is no good and bad. There's only peace and war. There's no good and bad. There's only peace and war. You can say that you're doing good by justifying a particular action that negatively impacts somebody else, but we could say that it's still good. But who is it good for? You can justify something in saying that that's bad. Just like people are saying, oh, RFK Jr. is bad. Well, bad to who? Maybe bad for the big pharmaceutical companies, but it's good for the health of our kids, right? There is no good and bad. There's just peace and war. And we need to align ourselves, in my opinion, with more peaceful standards. What do I mean by peace? Health is in that. Health and wellness is definitely a part of that. But us becoming the best version of ourselves, the most secure version of ourselves, the most confident, the most accepting. All right. Once we have all those things, it's easier for us to make sense of working as a community, interacting with each other to elevate our society, rather than getting bogged down by the fear mongering and the hatred that we see, that we are conditioned to adopt, I should say. All right. So let's move away from that. Let's move towards peace. Maybe when we're doing our 30 to 45 seconds. So for the people that are new, we always finish off with 30 to 45 seconds of meditation, visualization, manifesting, whatever it is that you need to do, whether you need to clear your mind, whether you need to reprogram your mind, whatever it is, to set the intentions and to set the right mindset for making this the greatest week of our lives. All right. We have that opportunity right now. Just like IROC just wrote, and taking accountability when we are wrong. That's a very important one. Taking accountability and calling it out, and being just as loud with our apology as we are with the things that we initially stated. And that's why I threw in last week, created that new segment, Dumb-ish, I said the other day, because I want to be able to stand on certain things if I'm not clear, if I'm off, and just have that certain level of vulnerability. Because if I don't have that vulnerability and objectivity, then I'm never going to be able to grow and develop. And I don't want y'all trusting me if I have a closed mind that won't allow me to entertain other ideas, to see where I may be wrong, and to move in the best way possible to get the things done that are important to us. All right. Health, the health and well-being of our citizens in America. So with that, 30 to 45 seconds. If you're in a safe place, close your eyes. If not, just keep them open, do what you need to do. But 30 to 45 seconds, you take the time to do whatever you need to do to set the intentions to have the greatest Monday that you have had your entire life, so we can have our greatest week. All right, 30 to 45 seconds. Let's go.